What's up, everybody? Austin Chevron here, your host of the Winning Twice podcast. And today you got me. It's me and you for about the next 20 to 25 minutes. And when I sit down and I get time with you, what gets to go through my head, just like with a coaching client, is what do I want to work with you on today? What type of conversation do I want to have with you? And when I replay the last 12 months, I've had thousands of conversations with people about their financials. Thousands. And I thought if I could invest a little bit of time with you here today, I could invest some of the knowledge and wisdom and conversations that I'm having in the world with you so you can understand what does it truly take to move the needle financially. And when I say move the needle, I'm not talking about making more money necessarily or even saving more money, which is part of it. I'm talking about being aware of where you're going and making steps to get there. And so I thought I'd bring that to you today. Now, a lot of you know, last year, Money Puzzle came out. This thing has been an amazing resource for thousands of people. If you don't have a copy of it yet, please grab a copy of the Money Puzzle. I promise you it will be worth its weight in gold. And if you don't understand all the pieces around this financial talk and you just try to implement what I tell you today, you might do good, but it will be really hard to do great. Just like a puzzle, there's a lot of pieces to it, and they're all important for you to get the vision of what you want for your life. So let's start with that. Let's start with the number one thing and thousands of conversations when I talk about financials that's needed. And I'll start with this. Without a vision, people perish. And I've asked myself over last year, what does perish look like? What does it mean? And I think it can come in a lot of different shapes and sizes. It could be just death as a whole. It could be just living a life that's not really fulfilled. It could mean you have great potential that you don't achieve and your opportunity perishes. It doesn't mean you're not doing good in life, but you know there's something missing. And this thing that you were called here to become and to be starts perishing. So without a vision, people perish. I can tell you for me, I've had a vision of what I wanted my financials to not only look like, but to do for me for the last almost a decade and a half now. And I'm going to say that one again because I'm learning along the way. And I think this is one of the pro tips that I found. It's not only like how much money do I want to have or do I need to have to be financially free, but getting more specific, what does that money need to do for me to live into my vision? And now for some of you, we need to stop right now because the vision's not clear. And when I say clear, it might not even be out there. You might not even know what it is. And if you've gotten to this point, what are we, 5 minutes in, and you're like, Austin, I'm not sure what my vision is. Great. You found the most value you needed to find out of this podcast. Go work on your vision. How do you do it? I like take a walk in the woods, take some time at the beach, go into nature, sit by myself, start writing what I want, maybe even write what you don't want. For a lot of my clients, if the vision's getting hard and they can't figure out what they want and when they want it, then I say, well, just tell me what you don't want, which would be the opposite side. And so without a vision, people perish. We need to work on our vision. We need to understand the financial vision for our life, because once we get the finances in alignment, everything else that's more important, family, faith, fitness, all those things you and who you're becoming with the people can really now get in alignment. You see, I was taught by one of my mentors, it's faith first, fitness second, which is you, family third, finances fourth. Mr. Chris Lewithy. And what Chris once told me, he goes, Austin, sometimes you have to put your financials above your family for a period of time to ensure your family always is good. And he was teaching me wisdom, and it got me thinking, most people just concentrate on the financials and normally never get it, and they sacrifice themselves, they sacrifice their family, and they sacrifice their faith. So once we get the vision right, once we understand that the money It's just a tool to help all these other things. And yes, it's a hard tool to get, to use, to be a good stewardship of it. All those things, it's tough. I get it. But once we get the money right, we can actually start living the life we desire. So how do you get the money right? Once the vision's there, now how do I get the money right? And we start in the personal side. We always start on the personal side, not the business, not the investments. We start in the personal. What are you spending every month? If I were to ask you right now what you spent last month personally, could you answer within $100? Could you answer within 500? Could you answer within 1,000? Of the true money that you personally spent. And for most of my entrepreneurs that listen to this, what personally spent means is you're not writing it off. Let's just get clear. What it means is you're not writing it off. It's not a business expense. So do you know last month what you personally spent? Do you know so far this year what you've personally spent each month and what your highs and your lows are for the year? Do you know the average that you've spent each month? You see, that clarity gives you confidence, and it helps build momentum to getting to your financial goals, your financial vision. You got to know this. I'm sure if I made $1 billion that I wouldn't have to know this as much. But I also would guarantee there's people who made $1 billion who are broke because they spent it all. The cars get faster, the yachts get bigger, the vacations get nicer, right? So you got to understand what you personally spend. And the easy way to do it is just track it. Like every banking app now and account's got all of your credits and debits. Just take that, put it in your own spreadsheet of some kind, and track it. And here's what I would do. I would split it up into 3 categories. Fixed. These are the bills that you have in your life. A lot of times they're monthly. It's like your house payment, your electric payment, your gas payment. These are your fixed expenses. These are your bills. The next category is your lifestyle. This is how I choose to live the life I desire. And then the third column is just extras. All the things that you consumed that didn't really move you towards your vision. That's the work I want you to do. With my one-on-one clients, that's exactly what I'm doing with them. Now, I know for some of you say, Austin, this sounds really simple. Go do it then. Go do it for last month. Go do it for the last year. If you're really ambitious, go do it for the year before that. All the data is still there for you, more than likely. So do it for 2025 so you can see what's trending in 2026. If you on average spent $10,000 a month in 2025 personally, and in 2026 you're spending $7 now, congratulations. But what if you're spending 17? Doesn't matter how much you're making. See, we all justify it by based off what you're making. That doesn't matter. What matters is the money going out in the places that you desire. So that's probably the best advice personally I can give you. Have a vision and understand your monthly outgoing money for your personal accounts. It will change your entire view of finances. I promise you on this. Now let's get into the business side. Probably one of my favorite things I ever came up with is what I call the wealth machine. I believe it's chapter 13 of the money puzzle. And the wealth machine is a system. It's actually what it truly is. It's a pre-deciding where my money goes before it comes in. That's what it actually is. Now, why is that important? Because there's no emotion or little emotion if the money comes in or doesn't then. Because you've already processed it. You already have a system for it. You already know where it's going and why it's going there. You've pre-decided. So what does this look like? Well, the first account that I ask people to set up is what's called a deposit account. It's a place where all of your income goes without emotions. What do I mean without emotions? Well, when you put the money in the account that you spend it, you live a rich and a poor life. Or in other words, for most people, you live a happy life and then you live a stress life. And then you live a happy life and then you live a stress life. Because all the money's going into the account that you spend it out of. So what I realized by watching entrepreneurs now for 80+% of my life is if I do what they do, I'm going to live the life they live. And I didn't want to do that. No offense to any of you. I didn't want to do that. I wanted to do better. I think we all should want to do better, right? So I knew I needed an account to put the money into. It's my holding tank, and I call it my deposit account. And then from there, a series of decisions happening. The main three decisions that I want to happen is one, pay my taxes. So percent of every dollar that I make that goes into that deposit account automatically moves into my tax account, because the vision for my life isn't me in jail because I didn't pay my taxes, right? Like, I don't know anybody that has that vision. So you got to pay your taxes, and you want to take a percent out of every dollar you make and move into that account. The next account, the one that set me financially free, is my investment account. So a percent out of every dollar that comes into my deposit account, I take a percent out and I move it towards my future. In other words, I don't consume it today. This is vital. I don't consume it today. I've made the decision that my future is going to eat a small portion of what I take home before I consume it. That one decision has made me financially free. Now, probably the most important decision, though, in all reality, is this last one, and that's my giving account. I've made a commitment that a portion of what I earn, I will always give away. And I haven't told you any of my percentages because they're personal. I could give you a great base. You know what? Let me give you the base. 25% for your taxes, 10% for your investments, and 10% to your giving. If I was in charge of you, that's what I would tell you to do. 25% of everything you make goes into your tax account, 10% goes into your investments, and 10% into your giving. Now, for some of you, you might have to start a little bit less and ramp those percentages up in time. And for some of you, you might need to ramp those percentages up even higher than what I've told you, because every person is its own custom job. Okay. The last two accounts, you might be saying, awesome, well, when do I get to spend the money? Well, you spend it last. It works a lot better that way. What you're used to is spending it first, and now you're broke. See, when I tell you about the giving, the investments, and the tax account, you say, well, Austin, all that sounds great. I just don't have enough money to do all that. And you're right, you don't. You know why? Because you spend all of your money. Your process is wrong. Your formula doesn't work. Your formula equals zero or negative or error every month. You got to switch your formula and put those three things first in your formula. You pay your taxes first. You're going to owe them, just pay them. Don't spend the money. Invest in your future. If not, you're going to be 60, 70, 80 years old working still because you're broke, because you spent all your money. And the last one, probably the most important, is to be able to give, because of the type of human you're going to become. So the other two accounts then are your personal spending, which I call personal ops, and your business ops. And both of those get funded monthly, a certain dollar amount. The first three get funded a percent. So no matter how much you make, a percent's going there. The other two, the business operations, your business checking, and then your personal operations, your personal checking, those two get funded monthly because of this B word, budget. Those two things should have a budget. You should have a budget for your personal life, no matter how much you make. This is how we choose to live. This is what makes us happy. This is what we got going on. I got a daughter who's in cheer and a son who's in baseball. Man, it's expensive right now. It's how I choose to live. It's my lifestyle, though. So we have to budget for those things, and we got to stay on budget. Okay. So last piece I want to move to here, it's really twofold. There's going to be times in which you need money. For some of you, it's been your whole life. For some of you, you don't need money right now. And then for those some that don't need it, it's the chances that you need it are when you bring more opportunities into the world. Let me say this. Let's say you have $100,000 in your bank account. You're like, Austin, I can pay my bills. Life's good. I don't really need money. Well, what if I called you up and said, hey, I'm going to sell my real estate portfolio. I'll just make a number up here. It's worth $1 million and I'm willing to sell it to you for 600,000 today. Pretty good deal, huh? Well, you don't have 600,000. You only have 100,000. And if you took that 100,000 to the bank, at most they're going to give you 500. So you cannot take advantage of this opportunity, even though you're doing fine financially. So I created what's called my money wheel. My money wheel is just a place. It's the places that I can go when I need money. And I'm not going to run through all the examples, read the money puzzle, go get into the work. You'll see all the different places. But at first in your life, you need money because you're broke. You're short every month on funds. I don't have enough to pay my bills. I don't have enough to eat. Okay. That's where you start. And as you grow through this financial journey, if you walk alongside with me and you let me be your guide and your coach, and I'll teach you what to do, eventually you're going to get to the other side, which is, Austin, I need money to fund these new opportunities. These things, these good things that I'm creating in my life, I need capital. And it's not normally smart just to hold all the capital in cash because we want to keep investing it. So what happens is we got to find money. We need more money. But this time it's not to pay our bills. This time it's to get closer to our vision, that passive income goal, the asset goal that we've been building. And so I want you to create a money wheel, a place or places that you can go get money when you need them. And once again, I don't have the time to work through all that with you. Get a copy of the money puzzle, go find the wealth machine, go find the money wheel, read those chapters, work on those things, find the success. You'll see what I'm saying here, and then start to implement those in your business, and life will be a lot better. And today I want to end with what I believe is the most important thing in your financials, and that is your ability to give. Now, when I say ability, we all have that ability, right? Well, some of us don't think we do. We all have the ability, but we don't think we do because, one, we don't have enough and we need to pay our own bills, right? Or you haven't become the person that lives in abundance and gives. Well, me to you, after doing this for a decade and giving, and just full disclosure, when I was younger, when my dad would get bills, or not bills, but he would get donation requests, and he'd say, son, write him a check for 25 bucks, write him a check for 50, write him a check for 100. I was the guy that's always like, Dad, why are you giving away your money? Like, that's your money. So when I share this with you, I was not built this way. I've been trained this way. And I say that because you can train yourself too. You can train yourself to give. I started with 1%. When I didn't have a lot of money, I started with 1% of everything I made, I would give away. And 1% doesn't seem like a lot when you're not making a lot of money. Well, let me tell you, I learned really quickly in a couple months that 1% could feed 4 families on Thanksgiving. And when I saw that, I was like, shit, this is good stuff. This is more than money. This is life. This is legacy. This is helping. This is becoming the person we desire to become. So for everyone out there, don't base your giving off of what you have, right? Don't base it off what you have. Understand mentally that for you to become the person you desire to be, giving is a huge ingredient in it. And if you don't give anything today, I challenge you to start with 1%. You'll never even know it's gone. And then after you get 1, go to 2. And then after 2, go to 4, and then 5, and then 10. And get yourself to the place where you become a person of abundance. You know that you can't outgive. See, every time I give more, I receive more. And I'm blessed today because of what I've given. I know I am. And the more I give, the more I receive. And let me tell you, I'm open to receiving now. I am aware and I am open to receiving. So if you got anything today, it's cast a vision for your life. What do you want? What do the financials for your life look like? Make sure it's clear because without a vision, people perish. After you have your vision, you got to work through your personal financials. Understand how much you're spending monthly, not only this month, but for the previous months of the year. What are you averaging? And then take your expenses each month and put them into 3 categories to help you see them clearly: fixed, lifestyle, and extras. After that, if you run a business, open up your wealth machine, create it, and get the money flowing in the right direction before you make it. Make the decision of what my money's doing for me and for others before I receive it. It'll take the emotion out of it and you'll make better decisions. After that, create your money wheel. Figure out where you're going to go get money when you need it. And at first, you need it because you're broke. And after that, once you follow my systems and processes and the guidelines in the money puzzle, you'll need money because of opportunity that you've created. And lastly, I want you to become the person that gives. Become the giver. Work on that abundance mindset compared to a scarcity mindset, because the best version of you is somebody who gives. Well, thank you for your time today on the Winning Twice podcast. I hope you enjoyed it, and I hope you'll put some of these principles, these strategies into action. Thank you, and I'll see you next time. Thanks for listening to this episode of Winning Twice. Each week, we drop a new episode with business owners, entrepreneurs, and high performers. We talk about life, vision, success, failure, and what it really takes to win professionally and personally. If you want to listen to more episodes, visit my website, austinchevron.com. Thanks again for being here, and I'll see you on the next episode of Winning Twice.